The original Meierschrift grew out of this entry for a design competition by the German artist Carl Friedrich Meyer. The Shelter and Giesecke Type Foundry in Leipzig saw potential, and in 1908 they issued Meierschrift in 10 cuts for text and display. So this is my revival of this typeface. WF Meierschrift has a bunch of neat OpenType features, and here I'll show you how to use them. Let's do a simple monochrome drop cap first. I use Affinity Publisher here, but the process would be analogous in InDesign. I've made a text frame, and now I right-click and choose Insert Filler Text, just to get some text on the page. With the text selected, I go to the Paragraph panel and turn on the drop cap options. Now I can fiddle around with the drop cap options a bit to get some spacing around the initials. From the Character panel, I can now open the Typography panel. I apply the Initials stylistic set to each of my drop caps. Finally, I can add a little color to make them stand out even more. To introduce another color, as I did here, I have to take a different approach. I'll create 2 copies of my drop cap, one for the body and one for the decorations. Each copy then gets its own color. I start with my text frame as before, and now I use the Artistic Text tool to place an initial in the size I want. I assign the Initials Body stylistic set to this letter. Then I duplicate it, which puts a copy right on top. And the duplicate then gets the Initials Deco stylistic set. And here I have my composite initial. Now let's introduce some color. I've changed the color of the top element, but now I can't select the bottom one because the top one is in the way. So I use the Arrange function to send it back by 1. And now I can change the body color. It's a good idea to group the 2 copies because it'll be a pain if they come out of alignment. And now they nicely move together. To get the text to wrap around my drop cap, I need to adjust the text wrap options. I'll pick the tight flow option, and then I'll want it to wrap around the largest element. And finally, I'm going to play around with the distance values so that I can get some white space around my initial. I can also play around with the size of the initial to get some fine adjustment done. In the Jugendstil Ornaments font, which also comes with a design kit, you'll find a number of matching ornaments that align nicely with these initials. You can simply add these to the page with the Artistic Text tool and make them the same point size as your drop cap. And then you align them as needed and you group them with the drop cap. Notice how nicely that lines up. I now have to adjust the text wrap settings to account for this new element. Also, remember that this drop cap is separate from your text, so you need to manually remove the first letter from the initial word. Now, ideally, you're doing all this when you're pretty much done formatting your document. And if that's the case, then you'll be all set at this point. But if you do make edits to your text and lines start moving around on the pages, you'll find that your drop cap doesn't follow the text. To fix that, we need to pin the drop cap to the text. And now it moves wherever that line of text goes. Now let me show you some of the other OpenType features. Meierschrift comes with standard ligatures for FI, FL, FFI, and so forth. On top of that, you also have a bunch of discretionary ligatures for TH and TT in both upper and lower case. The typeface is originally a German design, and that's why there are also ligatures for TZ, CH, and CK. Those might look odd in English text. The font also has the archaic long S, which is a nod to the Fraktur origins of this typeface. Turning on historical forms switches out the lowercase s at the beginning and in the middle of words. It's smart enough to leave the s at the end of the words alone. Lastly, the Fraktur style H, V, and L have a lot of character, but you might not want that all the time. If you prefer more familiar forms, you can turn on this stylistic set. WF Meierschrift is one of the fonts in the Art Nouveau Printshop design kit, which contains many more unusual typefaces, borders, and decorative elements, and which you can get directly on my website, www.waldenfont.com. If you have any questions, just send me a message through the contact form at the bottom of my website. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching.